Let's go to a couple of these clips from today's press conference. First here is if they want to add anything to the statements that we've just read from for you.
I think the president's statement is extremely clear what his position on Mr. Bannon is. It was pretty lengthy and pretty detailed, and there's not really much to clarify or to add. But once again, I think the president's statement fully addresses what his position and what his relationship with Mr. Bannon is.
I think there's some stuff you could theoretically clarify, and I think that they will attempt to do that. But first, we were just talking about what position Bannon actually had in the White House. So here is an attempt by reporters to get some response to that.
Sarah, the president's statement suggests that Steve Bannon had very little influence in the White House, but the president himself elevated him to the same level as the chief of staff and put him on the National Security Council. How do you reconcile that?
I wouldn't say that he elevated him to the same level of the chief of staff, and I think that in the actions that Steve took, the president was clear that it didn't have a lot of influence on him or the decision-making process throughout his time here at the White House.
And so, look, the reporters are sort of confused, but I don't think it's that complicated. He was a basically low-level intern who did typical intern shit like make coffee, determine national security policy, go run some errands or something, run the entire campaign, typical intern crap.
Be the chief strategist. If he's the coffee boy, why did you give him the title of chief strategist?
Yeah, he doesn't have a nickname yet, but I'm waiting for that. I don't know what it's going to be.
Oh, well.
Something about autofellatio, I would suggest.
Yeah, it's not going to be clever. What would be clever, and it's a layup, it's easy actually, is loose Bannon, right? Bannon fodder, whatever, the stuff that we've used. Yeah, okay. He's not going to do any of that. He's going to be like, bad Steve.
It's going to be like bonkers Bannon.
No, that's way too clever.
Damn.
So you remember that for the Russia investigation, he called up all his friends because he thought he had a really clever comeback. And they said, what is it? What is it? He said, I'm going to call it a witch hunt.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's got two brain cells to rub together. It's like 1.5. One's just kind of like, I'm struggling here.
Yeah, well, it's only going to get worse every year from here on out for him mentally. By the way, one final thing, if we could bring up graphic 30, you're going to see that you wanted to see where they were going to come out on sides. It appears that Matt Drudge is going with the president. No wonder schizophrenic Steve Bannon has been walking around with a small army of bodyguards.
Okay. No, George and Bannon had always been fighting, so I'm not surprised by that. I am a little curious where the alt-right is going to go. Because the trolls have never been more confused.
Well, it'll be interesting. I could see a way that, so it seems like, okay, they love Trump, obviously, but they also love Bannon because he represents their ideology in a more pure way, perhaps, than Trump does.
Yeah.
But I think that, and they want Breitbart, they love Breitbart. But if Breitbart were to distance themselves from Bannon, which is difficult but not impossible, then maybe they could have it both ways. And so far, I saw Breitbart's headline today was he not only lost his job, he lost his mind. So, I mean, it wasn't a strong reaction to what the president said. It was simply publicizing what the president said.
Well, we're going to find out if Bannon's alone or not based on what Robert Mercer does. So Robert Mercer, for the progressives, it's almost all grassroots. The rich liberals give all their money to terrible people like David Brock, and they try to basically maintain the status quo. So they're of no help to actual progressives. Really, literally almost none. Like all this boogeyman about, George Soros. What has Soros given that has actually helped anything, right? It all goes to like stupid stuff at the very top, mainly to protect the status quo, okay? But for Republicans, almost everything is based on the guy behind the guy, okay? The money guys. So yesterday we did the story of Rabbi Shmuley puts out an ad in the Washington Post against Lord and New Zealand, calling them anti-Semitic. Rabbi Shmuley doesn't have any fucking money, okay? It's Sheldon Adelson who, and yeah, by the way, it's reported as such, who gave Shmuley the money to run that ad. So it's not Shmuley, it's Adelson who's doing it, right? And Bannon is not Bannon, it's Robert Mercer. Without Robert Mercer, Breitbart actually does not have that many readers. You think the alt-right reads? Those trolls couldn't, that's why they like Pepe the Frog. They're like, it's a cartoon, I get it, it's a picture, right? So without Mercer, Breitbart's nothing, they go bankrupt tomorrow. And And so which way is Mercer gonna go? Did Mercer sanction this? In other words, by the way, just like I told you on day one as well, once they get their tax cuts,
Yeah, exactly.
They're done with them.
Do they
They're
need Trump
done
anymore?
with them.
I mean, Trump at this point is just dead weight, and he only serves to increase the chance that they lose control of at least the House, probably not the Senate, but possibly the Senate. And that sort of thing could actually harm. I mean, the tax cuts are not going to be reversed tomorrow. It's very difficult, but if they're going to be, that's an important first step. And Trump only makes it more likely at this point. So they got their money. If they want to keep their money, Trump endangers it.
Yeah.
Plus, they could die in a nuclear apocalypse. That's a side note at this point.
Yeah, I'm trying not to gloat too much, but this train looks like it's headed towards the biggest told you of all time. If you become a member of the Young Turks, you'll be saying,
I'm like a smart person.
So do it right now. tytnetwork.com/join. Get the whole Young Turks show every day.